We are live with another episode of Comic Talk. It's that show brought to you by The Key, where we talk about this week's new comic book releases. Whether or not it's DC, Marvel, indie comics like Image or Dynamite or Distillery or whatnot, all comics come out at your local comic shop every Wednesday. Pretty much every single week. Go to comicshoplocator.com, find a comic shop near you. Find your local comic shop and pick up any of these comics there. But yes, normally the show is comics come out on Wednesdays. We go live on Thursdays. But today, this week, it was Thanksgiving week. So we are live same time, but on Friday. So we got an extra day to read. But then again, it's Thanksgiving. So I don't know whether people got a chance to read even more or just like the same amount. But we'll see. I'm your host, Dimithri Perera. If you're watching us live, you're watching us on youtube.com/The Keeg Show or listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, etc., etc. But wherever you are, like, comment, subscribe, hop in the chat if you're watching us live. Let us know you're out there, you know? It's not just me talking about all the comics that I read. I obviously got two guests for you guys tonight. First is Jack, aka The Film Field. Jack, what's up, man?
I'm good, not too much. I'm excited to talk about this one. And there's been a few comics this week I've been very excited for, so it should be a good one.
Yeah. Did you get to read more comics this week or just the same amount?
I got to read a little bit less. My plan was to at least hit 5 of them. The only one I missed out on was Superman number 32, but I was able to get to Absolute Batman, didn't get to everything I wanted to, but at least the big ones for me.
Okay. Fair. We also got Joshua, aka Joshua Stephen Ling. Joshua, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, y'all? How's it going?
Going good. Did you get to read more this week or just the same amount?
I read a lot this week. I had a big stack and I got through the entire stack, which was so many comics.
Yeah. I mean, that's good. You got an extra day.
It was great. Yeah, I got an extra day of just sitting around, reading, drinking coffee. It was lovely.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to have like a chill week, an extra day, Maybe Thanksgiving got in the way, maybe it didn't, but comics don't stop for anyone. So, I mean, they were in shops on Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. It's up to you, up to us, up to everybody out there to read them if they want them, I think I read a good amount this week. Like I haven't read this many comics on a week since like months ago. I've been reading a lot less lately when we jump on the show on Thursdays, and then this week I was like, I'm kind of back to like me, I guess. Not pre-me, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Like,
yeah,
you got a lot of reading.
I was able to read the ones I really wanted to. I didn't get to read as many as I wanted, which was funny because this was probably like one of the bigger weeks for DC, especially because so many things had gotten delayed. So this ended up being such a huge week where there were so many that I wanted to get to, like Green Arrow and stuff like that, but I just wasn't able to.
I feel like in my head, I have the list of comics that I'm for sure going to get to, the list of comics that like I will probably get to. And then I do have a list of like pity comics that I'm just like, I do want to just kind of get like to read it just to enjoy it. But it's like last on my list is like the pity list,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that those comics are bad. It's just, I don't have that big of a drive to read it. But like, I guess if I have more time, I would read it.
They're the last of the priority. Doesn't mean it's bad, just last in line.
Yeah, for one reason or another, right? And so
on a normal week, that's what I do as well.
Yeah.
This week, my comic book shop challenged me to save Absolute Batman for the last because they were like, once you read that, everything else won't hold up. So just read everything else and then read that so you won't be disappointed by literally every other book you got.
I mean, that's true, but that's also, I mean, that's a good rating of Absolute Batman, but I think that's underrating a lot of the other books that came out this week.
I think I would agree with that. Yeah.
You
I think it
know?
was great, but I also think there were a lot of books that really hit this week.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Let's go through our lists. Who wants to go first? The list of the books that you read this week.
I can go first, kind of because I'm assuming my list is a bit shorter.
Okay.
So I've got Absolute Batman number 14. I've got DC KO number 2, Absolute Wonder Woman number 14, and Justice League Unlimited number 13.
That's a solid 4, you know?
I was very happy with all 4. Yeah, I
yeah,
loved all 4.
Yeah.
you had some great
Yeah,
reads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
it's kind of like, yeah, why have multiple wives if your first wife was amazing, you know?
Great point. Great
Yeah.
point.
Yeah,
Monogamy is literally the quit while you're ahead sort of model, right?
yeah.
Yeah. I got one, not I got one, but like generally speaking, like, you got one, they're great, awesome. You can retire.
There you
That's
go.
exactly what I think when I go into a comic book shop.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's a good solid 4. Yeah, there are
Yeah.
no bad ones in that one. Josh, you want me to go first or second? You want me to go second?
I can go.
Okay.
I got it pulled up.
Yeah.
I've got it here because I wouldn't remember all the names.
Yeah.
I read Black Cat issue number 4. I got all of the Age of Revelation books this week. So X-Vengers 2, Cloak or Dagger 2, X-Patriot X-Men 2, Undeadpool 2. I think there was also the Book of Revelation 2 this week.
No, that was last week.
No, that was last week. Got it. Ugh, so many books.
Yeah.
Absolute Batman 14, Absolute Wonder Woman 14, DC KO 2, Justice League Unlimited 13, Green Arrow issue 30, Batman, Green Arrow, The Question, Arcadia, Skinbreaker number 3, Escape issue 4, and TMNT Shredder 3.
Very nice. Very nice. Good solid list. A lot of overlaps between the three of us. So we got Absolute Batman 4. I got Absolute Batman 14, DCKO 2, Superman 32, Absolute Wonder Woman 14, Justice League Unlimited 13. Then I got Green Arrow 30, Batman Question, Green Arrow Arcadia number 1. I also read Skinbreaker number 3 from Image Comics. I read Flash 27 from DC Comics. I read Marvel Zombies Red Band number 3 from Marvel, Feral 18 from Image, DC's I Saw Ma Hunkel Kissing Santa Claus. That's the holiday special that came out. And then I also read Galactic number 1 from Distillery.
Nice. I wanted to pick that up,
Sweet.
but I forgot.
Yeah. I wanted to give it a shot. The cover art looked really good, and I'm like, okay, you're getting a Star Wars vibe from it, and it's like, all right, I'm gonna do it. That's what I'm gonna do on Thanksgiving, is give it a shot. It's tough sometimes. Like, it's hard for me to give like a new comic a shot sometimes because I'm just not sure what I'm gonna get.
Yeah, it is
And I
tough.
hate to say it for myself, but like if it's not something I'm already pretty familiar with, it especially is difficult. Like if it's not already like a brand IP that I at least know, or a writer I know well, which is something annoying that I want to push away because I want to start inviting myself to be like, you know what, if I know absolutely zero about this, that's when I want to be. Those are the comics I want to tackle the most. Those are the ones where that could become my next favorite writer, or this could be the kind of thing that I start looking into, every time a new issue comes out.
Yeah. I feel like it's the same with me and media. Is like, for video games, I rarely pick up a video game I'm not already familiar with, or at least that's not an IP related thing. Like, there'll be some random video game that'll come out during a week that everybody's talking about. It'll be called like Starlight Destruction, and I'll be like, I don't know what Starlight Destruction is. I'm not gonna pick it up. You guys can love it. It could be great. I don't know what Starlight Destruction is. So how I'm not gonna get excited and spend $80 on a game and not know what I'm playing. And that's part of me. So like, yeah, I love DC and I love Marvel because it's like connected universes, and I kind of, I already know that. But when it comes to, again, amazing comics that are at like Image Comics, Dynamite, Distillery, whatnot, it takes a lot for me to like venture outside my comfort zone and just take a chance on something. So like for me personally,
totally get that.
I've been reading Feral. Feral's on issue 18 this week, and like I've been digging it because it's the same creative team that did Stray Dogs, and it's not related, and I thought it was going to be related, and it's not, and that's fine. Stray Dogs was amazing, but even Stray Dogs I had to get convinced to read from like people on this show, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Joshua, were you the one who brought up Skinbreaker issue 1? Were you on this show when you...
I'm pretty sure, yeah, I think so.
So I think your review got me on board on that. So like,
gosh, that art is gorgeous.
The art is good.
The art is so it's so sick.
Like I don't who is the artist? Because they looks familiar.
David Finch.
That is what is up with it? Does look like it is David Finch, but like, is the coloring different? It's not.
I don't know. I know it took him 8 years to draw that book.
Really?
So yeah, he's been working on it for 8 years, and he did like these massive, oversized. I think every board that he drew on was like twice the normal size. So it's just like the detail is outrageous.
It's way too much detail, if you ask me. Like it looks amazing, but it's almost like, would I have liked half the amount of detail to have it sooner? You know?
I don't know. Maybe not, because you didn't even know about it.
You told me, but you told me about it. You told me about it, and then I was going to do it. So as long as they got you on board, you would have gotten me on board. And I would have read it, you know?
They got me on board.
Shout out to Deanna Kinney hopping in our chat on YouTube, youtube.com/The Keeg Show. Deanna says, my problem is that I try everything at least once and end up having way too many interests. Yeah, that is a problem.
I get that.
Yeah.
100%.
I have a bit of that. The stacks I bring home sometimes are like, why am I doing this to myself?
You guys ever get this when you like talk to people out in the wild and they're like, you know, it comes up that you like comics and like, well, what do you like, DC or Marvel? They pose it as that. They pose it as an or. It's like, do you like DC or Marvel? And I'm like, I read anything and everything, DC and Marvel, plus some.
And then anytime I do have to talk about any comic that isn't those two, it becomes a completely different conversation. Because the minute they ask me like, oh, do you read comics? It's specifically about DC or Marvel.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they ask you what your favorite character is. Like, I would love to be the type of person that only likes one character in a universe.
Yeah.
It would be so much easier.
It would be.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have this show. I'll tell you that. But like, it would be easier as a thing. And again, people out there who are loving what they love, awesome. Be those people, you know, because it takes all types of people. But for the purpose of this show, we try to read as much as we can. But I can't imagine being like the person who's like, I only read She-Hulk. And She-Hulk is great. Rainbow Rolls runs have been amazing. But like, then you only have to tune in every so often for a run to happen. And like, peace out after, you know?
The more things you find yourself interested in, the more things you have to look forward to.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it's great, but also, you know, on the flip side with video games, I'm glad that I have such a very small amount of video games that I'm interested in. Because, you know, there are people that buy 80 games. And I'm like, I can't afford that. I don't have any time.
I know.
My problem is I'll play a game and I'll be interested for maybe a few weeks and I'll enjoy those first few weeks, but then I'm done. Then I'm good. Like, I'll play it. I'll be like, this is so much fun. And then I'm like, I'm good. I'm never touching it again. Like, not as a bad thing, but I'm done. I'm good.
Yeah.
I had my fair share.
It takes something little to derail you from like a habit like that, you know? Like, I was playing that Star
100%.
Wars game, the first one that had a sequel, the Star Wars, what's the one with the redhead guy?
Jedi Fallen Order, those ones.
Yeah. So I played the first one and I got like a quarter of the way in and it was amazing. And then when I stopped playing it, I just haven't jumped back on it.
I made it through like a few planets on there. I'm like, this game's awesome. Like, this is such a cool game. I've got no problems with this. And then one day I just never played it again. Not for some bad reason. I just didn't play it ever again. And I was like, I think I got like halfway through that or something, and then I just never played.
Yeah. So back to comics. I know I was derailing us there. When it comes to comics, we got a lot to choose from. You know, we all read a good amount of comics. What do you guys have a obvious pick of the week? Just like no doubt number one by a large margin.
I'm gonna be pretty generic here, and I'm gonna go absolute Batman number 14. I loved all the comics I read this week, but that one was like, I was very, very excited for that, and the way that Scott Snyder was talking about that, and it completely delivered for me.
I mean, we all read this one, right? I think this one was like a must read for this week, because generally summing up the 2 weeks, or two, like DC and Marvel this week, like DC had a lot, like 2 absolute books and a lot of DCKO tie-ins, and Marvel had like some kind of random books and then a lot of the Age of Revelation tie-ins. So, you know, absolute Batman. Did you guys go into this week being like, well, yeah, absolute Batman, I have to read it. I'm going to read it.
Oh, 100%. You know, like, I mean, I'm a very big Scott Snyder fan specifically. I think he's great. I think what he does with Batman in general is great. And including this. And more than anything, just the way he talks about Absolute Batman, because every time he does any of these interviews, he spills so much about what's upcoming. And then just like what his thought process was with everything. And the more you hear from him, I just get so excited, like seeing what he comes up with. And the build up to this being just such an awesome fight, it delivered on every level for me. I mean, like the skyscraper coming down and hitting Bane, like we were just talking before we all got on here, like the entire mutated like flesh creature stuff that happens towards the end here with Bane was just so cool, because when it comes to these absolute Batman villains, I don't want it to get stuck to this thing where they're all just a big monster, because that's awesome. But if they're all that, then it's like, you know, it kind of just becomes a gimmick, right? And Joker's the kind of thing where it's like, we'll see what that is, but I like what they're doing because it seems to be some like devilish kind of thing going on. It doesn't seem like it's just about him being a big creature. And with Bane, it was like, oh, this makes sense. He's like the one guy that has to be a big monster. So that totally works for me. But what made it even better is that they turned him into this just grotesque, constantly evolving, just like mutant freak. And then it just got progressively more insane and crazy as this issue went on. Like his eye coming out and like popping and like all of his flesh, like it was just such awesome art. I love this issue.
Yeah, it was so gnarly. Just like as his like they're talking about his cells just becoming like all everything, and he's got like an eye on his shoulder and like teeth in random places.
Yeah.
It was just so gross. The body horror like elements just ramped up to 11 in this issue. And also I think just some really good conclusion to like the Wayland kind of Bruce friendship dynamic stuff. We get to see kind of that whole thing. We get to see the fight go down interspersed with these panels and kind of see just the flip, which maybe we might have seen coming as far as how that actually went down, but just to show that like, yeah, Bruce is always gonna be rooting for his friends in some ways. And I thought that was just like really great, like adding that heart element to just what was also just brutal nastiness.
I feel like so this was the conclusion of this arc with Absolute Bane, and I feel like ever since Bane was like Absolute Bane was first introduced, people were like, what the fuck is going on? Like, how crazy is this Absolute Bane? And especially when he's like, I haven't even used Venom. Like, it was like the first issue, and the second one. Like, he hasn't even like he was beating Batman without the Venom, and he kept beating him down without Venom. And it was like, well, how does this end? And I know that we talked about it on the show, like, it has to end with Batman taking Venom. Like, that's the only way he's gonna beat him. And I was very happy with the red herring, the twist, essentially, because this whole time, well, over the course of Comic Talk, I've always talked about like my idea of Batman is like a man who does love his family. And maybe sometimes he can't express it all the time, you know, like his relationship to Jason Todd and whatnot. But like he loves his boys, right? He loves his family, he loves Commissioner Gordon, and like and Batman works with people. I don't like necessarily solo Batman. I like Batman that uses like even if his allies are tools, like that's his utility belt, right? And so the idea that like Batman would go like alone and like just take a lot of venom and fight Bane hand to hand and beat him, I was like, I wasn't really for it. So we got two things, which is one is he really uses his connections and his allies, including like new allies like Harley Quinn and her gang, and then like Croc and whatnot. Great. But then there's also that twist where it was like, okay, the final step is he's gonna beat Bane down, kind of like Bane did with him in Nightfall in Prime DC Earth, right? Like it was the reverse of that. It was wear Bane down until I can beat him hand to hand. The tables have turned. Then we expect him to take the venom, and then it's like, no, he took the venom out of himself to then put back into Bane, which we've seen before in different things. And then Bane loses. Like Batman, with the help of his friends, beats Bane. And like we don't need machismo Batman that's just like, I can beat anyone hand to hand with no help from others. Like help is like he doesn't turn down help. Anyway, I liked this. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was
go ahead.
Yeah, I just think to your point too, just like the idea that he also is like they're live streaming this out and he's showing everyone in Gotham that he's not a monster. Like if everyone sees him like fucking roided out with the venom and turning into this grotesque thing as well, it then like shows Gotham that he's no better than all of these other monsters that are terrorizing them. So I love the flip that he's just like not doing that, which really, I think, yeah, to your point, Demetria, that really landed and hit for me.
Yeah, and I completely agree when it comes to like Batman working with people, because to me it's like Batman should be somebody who like insists upon working alone, but obviously knows in the back of his head that he's wrong and that the people around him he desperately needs. Like that to me is always going to be like the lesson he has to keep coming back to, which is he gets stubborn, tries to be on his own, and recognizes how flawed that is and how much he needs like the people around him, like basically his family. And so I love that, especially for Absolute Batman, we went from 0 to 100 of him being alone and doing things by himself to Alfred in the mix immediately, and like that coming along together as just this relationship, and then Catwoman into the mix, and now like Harley and her gang, and then now Wayland. Like I love everything to do with Bruce and Wayland's relationship, not only on just like it's cool his friend is a giant alligator monster, but just on the level of like their relationship with each other and choosing to make him one of Bruce's friends for a while, and everything to do with him turning into what he does and him trying to save Bruce during this fight. Like I thought that was so well done. And I think just in general, they did such a great job of making this Batman seem incredibly strong, but also very obviously embrace like the community of Gotham, not just like his friends, but the community of Gotham, bringing in Harley's gang, bringing in Alfred, bringing in Catwoman. Like it felt very natural the way all those elements came together for this big fight. If it was just Batman by himself, it could be cool. Like I thought maybe he was going to take the venom, do well in the fight, but then like burn out and his body was going to be like brutally injured, and that's when his friends and family would have to come in. So I'm glad to see in general that it didn't just turn into, like you said, him brawling and beat down Batman by himself. It was him and this entirety of his friends, which I loved.
Yeah. I think the thing is, like, we've had 90 years of Batman stories, right? And, like, a lot of things have been done before, and we keep rebooting things and changing things. And, like, it's amazing. Great. No complaints. But the idea of, like, we don't need a Luke versus Vader one-on-one fight every single time at the end of every
Mhm.
arc versus a villain just to prove that Batman can do it alone. He doesn't want to do it alone, right? Like
Yeah.
his connections are important to him, and I like that Batman. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I'm
Same.
always fine with him struggling to accept that because I think Batman's stubbornness comes into play for those things. He needs that relationship. He needs those people in his life. And once they're in it, he is significantly better.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely.
Yeah,
Um,
agreed.
Joshua, was your pick going to be this? And if so, do you have another pick?
It wasn't actually.
Oh, okay.
As much as
Okay.
this was a hard week, and as much as I was teetering, I picked Escape issue 4 from Image Comics.
Okay.
Have y'all read any of this or know
I
anything about
haven't,
Escape?
unfortunately.
Is it the Great Escape but with animals? Is it World
Uh,
War II? What is it?
yeah, so it's anthropomorphized world, very World War II coded. Rick Remender, Daniel Acuna. It's so good. So basically, this pilot is on a bomber mission to kind of, they're doing this one last mission. It's his last mission before he can go home to his wife. They this thing that's going to end the war, right? And they get shot down, and he's basically that was the first issue, and he's like behind enemy lines, trying to escape, but also he's still trying to complete the mission and blow up this whatever it is, this facility,
Uh-huh.
to help end the war. But this issue specifically, this is issue number 4. Basically, he was injured and was found by this family that took him in and treated him, and they basically, the entire issue is just them having a discussion about the ways in which propaganda has affected both sides of this conflict, and kind of him being like, well, you see all of us as evil, and how is that not also propaganda when you're here in my home at my own risk and I'm helping you, and like we're not all what you think we are. It was such a good moving issue. Uh, Really highly recommend this series. It's been really good.
So it's like a
Yeah, that
war
seems
drama but with animals? It's like Tailspin?
Hmm.
that
Yeah,
seems extremely up my alley.
the main character is a bear.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Milton is a uh humanoid bear. So yeah, it's basically World War II, but with animals instead of people. Uh,
Okay.
and it's just
Yeah.
absolutely fantastic.
But
I gotta check that out.
they're not characters on Earth, is it? Are they called Earth? Is it called America? Like what do they
No,
say?
they've been real kind of vague about uh calling specific places. So it's just like referred to as, I mean, there's like a town, I don't remember the town that he's from, but it was just like middle America looking, but it's not like they're not using like America and like Germany or anything
They
like
don't
that.
name them.
Yeah,
Okay.
they don't necessarily name them. He said a word for English in this issue that was not English, and it was, I mean, it was a made up word that I don't even remember off the
Whatever,
top
like
of my
they're
head.
in universe languages.
They're in universe language, yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Which is interesting because this variant cover shows a plane that has a star on it, which is like American
Yeah. It's
stars.
very, otherwise it's very coded. Like the German like Nazi stand-ins look, I mean, they're in Nazi uniforms.
Yeah.
Like their secret police
Mhm.
uniforms are secret police uniforms.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I just thought it was really fascinating. The writing in it has been so good, and this issue particularly was just so it kept me just sucked in with just the drama of these two characters that should be at odds with each other, having just this nice conversation. Um, and just the depth of it. Like at the end of this issue, particularly, Rick Remender talks about how this book is inspired by his grandfather. And there's pictures of his grandfather uh, from the war, and he goes into detail about some of his family stuff. So it's really interesting. And just as I don't know, it's a refreshing take on a war story.
Yeah. I put two and two together. I was like, wait, Escape is like the Great Escape.
Yeah. Yeah.
Two. Um, talk about a
Yep.
classic movie that just is really good is Great Escape, where they escape the camp, the
The
POW
camp,
camp,
yep.
and they try to get
Yeah.
away. And this is Animals. So, okay.
Yep.
All right, I will read this one. Like, I feel like you've convinced me.
It's highly recommend. And the art is just absolutely gorgeous in this book. It's
It's the
so
same
pretty.
creative team as X-Force, right? Uncanny X-Force, probably?
I
It's
believe.
Remender and
Oh,
Acuna.
yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess so. Then yes.
That's crazy, but okay. All right. My pick of the week. This is tough because it's because we're gonna end up talking about all these, but I'm just gonna do for the sake of underrated, because I think they're all really good, but this one specifically is underrated because none of you guys read it. Is The Flash number 27. It's one of the many DCKO tie-ins, and something that I really like about DCKO tie-ins right now is each series is on their own adventure that tangentially ties in with DCKO. So, like, if you're a fan of the DCKO miniseries, you don't have to pick up The Flash. You don't even have to know about the Legion of Superheroes. Like, they don't touch the main, like, battle tournament event. But they do tie in with a lot of the other stuff that's going on right now. And so,
Yeah.
this is The Flash issue 27. Issue 26 was the start of it. And that's when Impulse goes back in time to try to defeat Darkseid before all the bad things happen. But because Darkseid is kind of throughout time, Darkseid sees it. And, like, history has changed. And in this issue, they're in the past, and Max Mercury is there before he becomes Max Mercury, but everybody swears fealty to Darkseid, even in the past. So, like,
Okay.
and the Legion of Superheroes are there, which is the Dark Legion or whatever they're called. What I really liked about this one is, like, Wally is in the past, he's good, Impulse is good, and everybody else is bad, and the Legion can't keep up with Wally or Impulse, so they're like, call her in. And it took me a split second to be like, call her in. Who are they calling in? Like, because I haven't seen her in so long. They're bringing in XS, who is Impulse's cousin in the Legion of Superheroes future.
Oh, right. Yes.
And so she's the Legion of Superheroes speedster, and she comes in and fights Impulse. And I always forget about I forget about XS. But she was in it, and it was cool, so I liked it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's good. Mark Waid, right? Writing
yeah,
that?
he's co-writing it right now with whoever was. I forget who was writing it in issue 25.
Okay,
but Mark Waid, is writing it here, which just makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah. In general, I've liked this whole like Darkseid taking over all of the timeline kind of thing. That's made for these tie-ins to be very interesting. I just in general like that kind of gimmick for him, for it to be controlling everything in the past, the Legion of Superheroes being corrupted. It's interesting.
Yeah. I like the fact that, because I think about all the other people out there reading comics, like, and like people who don't know as much about DC Comics, that they can pick up a book and not have to read 20 different things and like get really confused about like what's going on. Each of these DCKO tie-ins have their own story, and like you don't have to mess with anything else.
And they're the kind of things that you can fold in if you know what's going on with this whole event, and it's like this big, long, awesome story where you get all the little tie-in pieces. But then if you just want to read them on their own, then it works perfectly that way, which is awesome.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that's great.
So I mean, I mean, there's Marvel books that we will cover. But I mean, since we're on this, train of thought about DCKO and the tie-ins and everything, um, so the Flash was a DCKO tie-in dealing with Impulse going back in time. Justice League Unlimited has to do with Mr. Terrific sending a team to hell. The time displaced heroes. Superman 32 has to deal with like Superboy Prime and Lois Lane. Like, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much that. But then DCKO, you guys want to talk about the actual DCKO issue number 2?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Everything they've said and set up about this event, they've twisted in a good way, but also in a I don't know. I'm not let down. I don't know what the word is for how I feel about this. I'm not let down. It's not a negative feeling. I feel outmaneuvered.
I think that's a good word, because this whole thing I thought was going to be a very traditional battle tournament kind of thing. And I'm not big on those kind of storylines, not in the sense that those are bad, because they can always be great stories, but they're not the kind of thing that really gets me excited about what's going to happen. So I kind of felt like a lot of this would be pretty predictable, and it really hasn't. And not only that, there is so much going on, like so much going on so quickly, and it's all very awesome. Like, I'm loving it. But the entire time I'm like, okay, I'm definitely going to go back and reread this, because there's a lot of really cool stuff that I have like not let settle in yet. Like, just a lot of really cool stuff. Just in general, the gimmick of all of these heroes getting the most random of like tools and accessories. Like, I think the end of this, like, Guy Gardner has like the Whirligog, which is really weird but really cool.
What is the
Like,
Whirligog? That might be the one artifact I don't know that I
Yeah,
didn't know.
I have
was
no
real.
idea.
It's been a while since I've read about it, but it's some kind of time related tool. I think it was the Hour Man from the future had it. But it's like an extremely overpowered tool that I think overall controls time. So it's like an Hour Man type deal.
Okay, yeah.
So I wonder, it's supposed to be an like unbelievably powerful tool. So Guy Gardner having that is a really weird angle that I'm super curious to read about.
It is time and it is a or like a thing for time and space. Metron used it, but then it most
Yes.
famously was used in 0 Hour. I'm looking this up right now. This is not
Yes,
off the top
that's
of my
right.
head.
Okay.
Then it's also used in Rock of Ages, which is the Grant Morrison Justice League run.
Okay.
Rock of Ages. Then
Yes.
Our Man had it when he comes back.
I think it was during 0 Hour. I could be wrong, but I think it was like Extant or somebody, or was it maybe like Parallax Hal or
It was
something
Extant,
that ended up
yeah.
using it, something like that.
And then Grant
Yes, that's
Morrison
right,
says
yeah.
Warlogog was used in Final Crisis under the name Element X.
Yeah, that's right. I completely forgot about that.
And then
Yeah, Whirligog's an interesting one.
The most recent owner of it is Goldbug or Gold Beetle. Gold Beetle, sorry,
Okay.
Goldbug's the
God, I completely forgot that was a whole thing with Gold Beetle.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah, so I'm curious to see how this is used, because it's considered like a ridiculously powerful tool that Hour Man had. Like, when he had that, I think it was considered he was like pretty overly powered. So having that be like a tool that just somebody can pick up, I'm very, very curious to see what that looks like.
Yeah. Joshua, you got any thoughts about this issue?
Yeah, I really like I really like the flashbacks to
The game night?
the game night and the board game. And again, I love the panel structure reiterating that this is a game. And just kind of like there's going to be different stages to the game. I really enjoyed that. I thought it was a really good yeah, I guess, I mean, Clark is kind of our main character almost at this point.
Yeah, definitely, I would say.
But he doesn't want to play the game.
He really
Yeah.
doesn't want to play the game. And his like him coming to the realization that's like he doesn't even necessarily want to win. He just want to make sure that none of the villains win. I thought was like, okay, this is a good angle for Clark. And it allows him to actually kind of have a driving motivator because otherwise I was like, how is he gonna stay in this? Because he doesn't have that kind
Yeah.
of drive and like
Yeah.
ability, which I think they talked about in issue one as well. But I think having that happen, it really made him stand out in this issue, and just the him like rethinking the rules and like using some of that Bruce uh the Bruce advice and then just like plunging that
Yeah.
kryptonite into his
Yeah.
chest was pretty badass.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. I no, I mean like 100%. Like I think that I was really curious to see how they would tackle the ultimate like emotional element of all this, especially with like
Hmm.
tournament stuff, and especially this one being so different and weird and crazy. I was like, this could be one of those things that is so fun to read, but you get a little bit too lost in the sauce, and it ends up being just like all this crazy stuff. Like I was afraid that there would be an element of this where we don't get a lot of Clark's POV, and it's just in
Hmm.
general the craziness, which is fun, but you lose a lot of that human element of just like seeing the characters reflect on what's going on. And not only
Yeah.
was it great to make Clark the main character of this, just like you said, the entire thinking in his brain of how he wanted to go about this, because so much of this was like, yeah, I don't want to have to beat anybody. And I thought, like, what are they going to do here? Just make him say, fine, I have to play the game. But the main driving force of that being like, I'm going to be here to stop guys like Lex and guys like that from winning this because that's the
Hmm.
ultimate problem, right? Not necessarily wanting to focus on beating the other heroes. That's a great angle because not only does that just make complete sense for Clark, it sets it up that when he does have to fight people that are his friends, it's going to be so much worse for him because it's not like he just ultimately decided, hey, I guess I'll just have to deal with this. In his head, it's entirely, I'm going to take out these villains. So when it comes to those hero versus hero fights, it's the ultimate, no, I have to beat you to continue to save you guys from guys like Joker or Lex getting this. So I just like
Hmm.
that conflict for him. It's not as simple as I thought it would be, and it works really well in regards to the way that he thinks about things, especially just him thinking about Bruce's advice and the way they were playing the game, just going back and forth. I loved it. I love the elements that we're seeing from Clark's POV for everything.
Yeah. I something that I talked about before this comic came out is the idea that like over on Marvel's end they had Avengers, X-Men, Eternals, Judgment Day, AXE Judgment
Hmm.
Day, and it was kind of prepped as being like, oh, just a battle between the three teams. And like because the premise that starts off that thing is just that like the Eternals are like, oh, mutants are deviants, so we're going to kill all mutants. And so there'd be a war there. But at the end of the first issue of that crossover, they're like, oh no, that wasn't the premise. The premise is they've brought a celestial back to life that is going to judge all mankind, like yay or nay. And if most of mankind passes, Earth can stay alive. But if mankind like loses judgment, then everybody dies. And it
Hmm.
became this like, what does each hero? How do they judge themselves? And that sort of thing. And that was a cool thing. I loved that crossover rep because of that change. With this, I saw the battle tournament and I knew there was going to be twists and turns. I didn't think there would be a whole like turning on its head sort of situation. For
Hmm.
instance, like I knew that Superman wouldn't kill. I called that out. I was like, even in a world where he would kill and then rewrite time so that person comes alive, I was like, there's no way Superman kills.
Hmm.
Like even in an alternate universe, in a timeline that he knows is going to be rewritten, Superman wouldn't kill. Um, a lot of heroes wouldn't do that, but like Superman especially. But the way DC set up the bracket style tournament, I at least thought there would be 1v1s. And there wasn't. And so,
Yeah.
right. But like the way the
Yeah. Yeah.
bracket format, it isn't 1v1 that they fight each other. It's 1v1 that one will Like if you look at that original
Yeah.
bracket,
The original bracket.
it's not that they fight against each other, it's that one lives and one dies. They
Mm-hmm.
don't even fight against, like Connor Hawk does not fight against Hawkman in this. Which, by the way, I fucking hated it. I get it, and I don't dislike what they did. I dislike what they did. I'm fine with it happening because it's part of the story. But the fact is, like, Joker gets the belt of the Atom. He gets big. He's 2 panels. Or 2 frames or whatever panels. He scoops up Connor Hawk and Cheetah and just eats them. That's it.
Yeah. I was like, really?
Also,
that's it?
It was weird that they put like parental advisory logos over that, right? That was like a weird choice.
Yeah, that really
I
caught
was
me off guard.
confused by that.
I saw somebody post that on Twitter first, and I thought, oh, you did that to like cover it, right? And then I read it, and I was like, that's actually in the book. Okay, I
That
don't
took
know
me
why,
out.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
that was so odd.
I was very confused by that. I'm not sure.
It's one of 2 things, I think. One of 2 things is that the artist, who's the artist on this one?
It starts with a J, I think. I don't have it up.
Javier Fernandez.
Yep.
It's either Javier Fernandez made it a little bit too gory that he thought was going to be acceptable, and DC editorial was like, that one panel, let's cover it. Or they plan on releasing like a director's cut red band version down the line.
I can see that because it does kind of look like someone did like draw it and someone just slapped that over. Like it doesn't look completely obscure to the point that it's like, oh, what happened over there? It's like it does kind of look like maybe it was like, hey, you got the right spirit, but we're gonna dial this back and just make it like emphasize the fact that wow, you don't want to see this, you know. So that might be what it was.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I liked how DCKO #1 was an obstacle course and people died, and and this one is a scavenger hunt and people died. Whether or not they get killed outright, just by fact of in this one there's only 16 items, and if you don't grab an item by showtime, you're dead. I was really anxious and overwhelmed by this issue.
It was a lot.
Yes. It was a lot. Like, I was loving every piece of it, but it was the kind of thing where I just kept saying, like, I'm going to have to go back and sit with each of these, like, panels and, like, kind of take it all in. Because on one hand, it would be, like, 4 different people going for something, and at the next, it's like, oh, no, now this guy's out. Like, people would get kicked out or they would die in the background of things, and I'd be like, oh, I completely missed that. Like, I remember looking around and I was like, did I miss it? Like, did Firestorm get like taken out? And he did. I just did not notice it with everything going on. So I'm constantly flipping back and forth through all the pages, which I was loving it, but I was extremely overwhelmed.
I feel like there are pages that were cut on purpose to like where they were able to be taken out and everything flows perfectly and they can add him in later, because when Joker goes into Big Barda's head, all we see is that it causes her pain. Well, we don't like I would be shocked if there isn't a panel of him exploding her head. Like DC would do that. That's not a problem. It just we don't even see her at the end of the thing like disappearing because she like dies and doesn't get an item. I don't think I think Joker kills her. Like,
you might be right, because there's a lot of elements of this where it is overwhelming and it's awesome seeing what's going on, but there's a lot of moments where I'm like, I feel like this may have had like 1 or 2 more panels to it. You know what I mean? Just little moments where like people are fighting and it's like, feels like this might have been a tad bit longer. Like it feels like something I can tell was maybe like a bit longer originally because of you could tell that Scott Snyder was just so excited to let this be a complete battleground of just stuff going on. Like Lex getting the Black Lantern ring and everyone getting their items and all this crazy stuff that I totally believe the idea that like they had to shrink that just a bit down and just kind of condense everything.
Yeah. I purposely was trying not to pay attention to spoilers. But like there is a variant cover that has the final 16 on it.
Oh,
I think I did see it. I think so.
But I can't remember, just before we wrap up with this DCKO thing, because there were so many moments in this I wish we had more time to talk about. Like Supergirl being like throwing the Medusa mask to Superman to get him to have an item to go forward, and she's sacrificing herself, right? Like awesome, but also, you know, fruitless, you know? Superman.
And speaking of weird accessories and people who get items, I'm a big Captain Atom fan. So I'm always just happy anytime he gets anything. I think they said he gets the Medusa mask, which is such a random thing for someone like him to have.
Yeah.
And that's like another one of these, like, I'm so interested to see how that works, because of all things for him to have, the Psycho Pirate's mask, that's a weird one.
I think he chucks it away. Like, there's like some of these characters need the items and some of them don't. Like, Cyborg doesn't need the mother box. He already has mother box tech in him. Like, the goal was just to win to get to the next round, right?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. So maybe he throws it away, and that ends up being an opportunity for someone to get like multiple things. They have something they did take, and they pick up something someone left behind. I don't know.
So I mean, let's go over it real quick. Harley Quinn gets a Speed Force ring, right?
Yes.
What does Zatanna get? Zatanna gets something.
Did she get the Soul Sword?
No. Maybe. Okay, we'll put a pin in that. Jason Todd gets the Blue Beetle Scarab.
The Scarab, yes.
Yeah. Joker gets the Atom Belt. Cyborg gets the Mother Box. Swamp Thing.
Guy Gardner gets the Whirligog.
Guy Gardner gets the Whirligog. What does Swamp Thing get?
He got he got the other sword, right?
He got the Soul Sword.
He got the Soul Sword, and then he got the Soul Sword.
God
That's
Killer
right.
Sword. Somebody grabbed the God Killer Sword.
Oh man, we're gonna have to. Okay, and then Lobo gets the Venom. Wonder Woman gets Mjolnir, right?
Yeah, gets Thor's hammer.
Etrigan gets something.
Yes.
Yeah,
what did he get?
Etrigan get? I'm trying to think.
Oh my god.
I feel like I gotta look this up.
You know, I saw somebody perfectly show what everybody got, and I was just looking at it earlier today, and now I'm like forgetting what everybody had. God, what did Etrigan have?
Okay, let's see. Who got the Lasso of Truth?
Lasso of Truth.
So the 16 items.
Did they?
Blue Beetle Scarab, God Killer Sword, Whirligog, Atom's Belt, Mother Box, Psycho Pirate's Medusa Mask, Thor's Hammer, Bane's Venom, Speed Force Ring, Power Rings, Genie Pen, Claw of Horus, Soul Taker Sword, Lasso of Truth, and Cosmic Rod, and then the Omega Force, right? That Darkseid has.
Or the Omega Sanction that Clark ends up getting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I forget who gets what, but
I win.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't. Maybe we don't need. I'm trying to look it up, but maybe we don't.
I think I saw someone make a great post just showing what everyone got. I wish I could find it, but I remember seeing that a little bit earlier today, just showcasing every single item and who got it.
Oh, Etrigan got the pin.
Which is weird, but
the pin?
Yeah. Yeah. Zatanna got the God Killer Sword.
Okay.
That's right. Yes, that's right.
I don't know who got the lasso.
What did Jay get?
Jay had the God Killer Sword at one point?
He did at one point.
I don't know what after that.
Okay. Well, we'll leave it up to future us to figure out. Let's real quick jump into the rest of the comics and whatnot. But Justice League Unlimited number 13, DCK, that's a DCKO tie-in. It's part 2 of the Terrific 10 story arc. This also made me overwhelmed and anxious because just like in DCKO, people are just dying left and right, and I'm like, I get sad. Like, I get sad when characters die in general in any of this media, but I also just get sad because, for me, I think to myself, like, what do these characters do with their last second of life? Like,
Yeah.
Guy Gardner.
I would 100% get that.
Guy Gardner dies in this, like, old guy, and he goes, I have nothing left to go back to anyway. And it's like his last line before he dies.
Yeah, that was brutal. Also, I was kind of I think I've mentioned on the show before, I'm just now getting into like reading a lot of DC stuff and getting to know the characters, but man, Mr. Terrific was just kind of heartless. He is a cold motherfucker in this book. He's just like, yeah, I brought y'all here because you're expendable. Like, Jesus.
Yeah. And that's always been an element of him that I always appreciate when it's highlighted, because whenever he is the smartest guy in the room, but he's always like the most morally in check, I'm like, okay, cool. But he turns into a little bit of like, he turns a little bit generic. And it's like, the thing about him is he's smart, but he's also the guy that's kind of willing to do stuff like that. And then it kind of leaves you with a little bit of a bad taste in your mouth where you're like, I get why he did that, but geez, you know what I mean? So I love that kind of came back into the picture, because you're right. It's like kind of heartless.
Yeah. He's not a villain or even an anti-hero. I just think that, like, because he's the smartest guy in the room, he's finding like excuses for the things that like he needs to do. So like, I don't think he would do this. I don't think he would find another option if it was like the Justice Society team. Like, he would not send the actual Justice Society to their death. But the idea that these are not just time-displaced heroes, these are they don't matter to the timeline anymore. Like, they've been explicitly set to, like, they could die and they won't affect the timeline. Like, they are inconsequential to the fabric of space and time, which sucks, but also it's a very, very specific situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was surprised how, like, we've seen heroes go to hell and fight their way through hell before. This is the first time I've seen it as like, oh, you just get shredded up. Like, you get like thrown into a blender, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting this level of like brutality, and like, not necessarily to say I didn't expect all these people to die, but not to like this level and to this much brutality. It definitely caught me off guard.
There's so many moments in this. Like, it's Tim Drake, Tim Drake Batman Beyond, where he's like, he doesn't want to be in hell. Like, he's so outclassed in hell. And Alan Scott like takes a liking to him and essentially gives his life for Tim to get away.
Yeah.
Oof.
And it was gross too.
It was gross.
The wooden snakes.
That was brutal.
It's just, it's so sad. I'm like, I
know.
I would be surprised. I think maybe one of these people are gonna live at the end. But like, it is. Did they bring this up that it is essentially a Suicide Squad?
They alluded to it. Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think early in the issue.
No, Alan Scott brings it up that Waller had a Suicide Squad, but this is like kind of, he alludes to this being similar.
Yeah.
Which is just,
the concept of like a time displaced Justice League team that is like a type of Suicide Squad is pretty interesting though. I think that's a very interesting angle.
Yeah.
The idea that those kind of characters are like replaceable or expendable because they are these time displaced guys, and it's like, well, this is your job. That's a very interesting angle for like a DC team. I'm very curious to see where that ends up going in the future.
Yeah, and that's not to. This is also a different team that one Legends of Tomorrow sort of team that they hinted at, right? Wasn't that a different?
Right.
That was a different team, right?
I think it was different.
In that
yeah.
one shot.
Did they have? Am I wrong? Did they have a Batman Beyond or?
Yeah, I
No?
think there's some of the same folks, but not all of them.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, because it had. I'm pretty sure Batman Beyond was there,
Yeah, I thought he
or the
was.
Batman. And I feel like
Which
I can't remember who else was there. I feel like that
Oh, it
version
was
of
Batman
Doctor Fate.
Beyond, Gold Beetle, Huntress, Jonah
yeah,
Hex.
Gold Beetle was there.
Jonah Hex, that's right. That was...
Yeah. Interesting.
Marilyn Moonlight. So yeah, I mean, the only person on both teams was Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
And was it the same Batman Beyond, or was that one supposed to be Terry? Because this one's Tim Drake, right? So I wonder if that was supposed to be OG like Terry McGinnis Batman Beyond. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And they have the time ship that looks just like the Wave Rider from the show.
Yeah.
And Airwave is on it.
Yep.
Ooh, that's right. Yeah, I like Airwave.
Yeah. Interesting.
Same.
And it supposedly ties in with DCKO because it was a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was called Justice League Dark Tomorrow. It was that one shot special.
The one shot, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Interesting.
For the sake of time, let's we got any Marvel stuff that we gotta talk about? Because, like, really quick, I think Joshua was the only one who read all these Age of Revelation comics, and like I've been not reading them. As an X-Men fan, I'm like, I can't. I don't know. I'm not digging them. But you want to give us we can run through these real quick. The Age of Revelation stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if it's a mistake, but I just told my shop put all of the Age of Revelation stuff on my pull list, so now I have it all. And if it wasn't 3 issues, I would have maybe dropped some of these. But I was like, well, now I'm 2 issues in on all of them. I'll just finish it out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, some of them are fine. Some of them I think are fun. I think the fun part of it is you don't always get to see what a lot of characters are doing in these new weird future timelines. So if you go into it like that, it's kind of fun, but none of these are really important to the grand scheme of the story at all.
Yeah.
X-Vengers has been pretty cool, mostly because I'm a Danny Moonstar fan. And getting to see her lead a team of Avengers is really rad. Rock and Cap Shield, which I will always be about some Cap stuff. So that's been pretty fun. They're dealing with a new techno-organic mutation virus thing that's happening. It's fine.
Cool.
Cloak or Dagger has been pretty interesting, just because their power sets have changed a little bit. They can't be the same place at the same time, so they've been like phasing out,
Like
which has been pretty cool. If they do that in Marvel Rivals, then yes, it is like that.
They basically Marvel Rivals, it's a switch character, so you play as one and then you can switch out to the other one, but never at the same time.
Then yes, that's exactly what it's like.
Well,
and
that's
then
cool.
they live in this pocket place that we don't know a whole lot about with their daughter when they're not in the world.
They have a daughter.
They have a daughter, dude.
You're burying the lead here, man.
It's sick. Yeah. That book is actually, I've really enjoyed that, but it's basically, I mean, these are all really condensed stories. So it's basically they're trying to evacuate people to get away from the ever expanding X virus. And some people want to mutate people. So, but it's pretty fun.
Marvel classically has 2 question marks that they love to hang over Cloak and Dagger. One is, are they mutants or not? They've always been like, whatever. And then the other one is, they're a romantic couple, but Marvel likes to not have them be a romantic couple. Like early stuff of Cloak and Dagger, they just keep being like, they're just really good friends. And like,
yeah, really good friends.
I feel like it's Marvel editorial back in the day being like, you cannot take our white women. Stop. Like,
oh my god.
you know, it wasn't just them being like, will they, won't they? Because they were,
Yeah.
but it was like, no, Cloak cannot get with Dagger. We can't have this.
So silly.
But now they've like, okay, now Marvel has the past like 10, 15 years, they've been like, okay, they are dating. But
Yeah.
okay, cool. I guess.
Yep. Well, they are definitely together in this, and they have a kid, which is really sweet and cute. I love that. The other two, Expatriate, X-Men, fine. That kind of follows some of the folks from the Exceptional
Yeah.
X-Men team, and then also Miss Marvel is in there. They're basically like pirates. It's fine. I don't really know where the story is headed, and there's one issue left, so that's the one probably I care the least about.
Which
And
one?
then,
Expatriate?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's interesting enough, but
Yeah.
I don't really care. And then, Undeadpool is been surprisingly good. I am so hit or miss on Deadpool stuff. But in this, the X virus has mutated, has caused his body to go into like an excessive regenerative state. So it's constantly fighting the X virus. So it basically has turned him into a zombie until he eats enough mutant flesh to get his brain back.
Yeah.
So he is
Okay.
a zombie unless he eats mutants, and then he can get his brain back for a while. But if he gets hurt too much, then he starts reverting back into a zombie. Cable shows up.
Interesting.
Yeah, Cable shows up. He's basically trying to get uh, a really bad bad mutant to the expatriate folks so that she can be safe. That's pretty much that storyline.
Okay.
It's been fun. It's funny, and also it's like not over the top Deadpool stuff, which is like nice. It's a good balance.
Okay.
But yeah, that's surprisingly one of the better ones.
Okay. I'm going to use that segue to jump into two books that I read that you guys didn't read real quick, and then we'll get back to some stuff. Marvel Zombies. I didn't know this one came out this week because on the Marvel site, it didn't have it as coming out this week, but then League of Comic Geeks, it did. And it turns out it did. So Marvel Zombies, Red Band, number 3. Short, short story, long story short, is that if you're tired of the whole Marvel Zombies sort of like all those spin-offs and like sequel books and whatever, this is sort of a return to form. It's a new sort of universe, and it takes place in like the early Marvel universe where Peter is still in high school and Captain America is relatively new, and like everybody is like, it's a young Marvel Earth that gets a zombie apocalypse. And so what's cool about each of these issues is it goes through a different era of Marvel. So in this, they bring in Secret Wars on like the battle world, and then they bring in Dark Phoenix. And so like certain events have not happened yet. Like the Infinity Gauntlet saga has not happened yet, and that sort of thing. And if you like this sort of thing and you're afraid that it doesn't have enough story, like this does. So
okay, nice.
Like,
interesting.
Deadpool's not here. I'll say that because it's an early Marvel universe, so you don't get. But then also speaking about zombies is Feral issue number 18 came out this week from Image Comics. Feral is a story about like this like super rabies essentially, where mammals are getting super rabies and they're becoming very zombie-like, but they're pretty much just rabid animals. So like mankind quarantines a bunch of places and essentially kills pets on site. So like, because most of the pets are mammals, right? So they'll kill any dog, they'll kill any cat. But this is very Disney-esque other than the gore and the adult subject matter, but like the art is very Disney-esque, where it's about a group of cats going through like from place to place. Essentially, it's Walking Dead, where they're traveling from place to place finding a new home, but like they're cats and kittens.
Okay.
And
nice. Okay.
but like things are twisted. So like in this arc that just finished off, there's a pet smart or whatever that's been like closed down, and there's like a civilization of cats there that eat their kittens to survive. So they keep like, and then there's one mother cat who's like big and like it's kind of gross and weird.
Okay.
But it's very Walking Dead, where they get to like Terminus, and then in Terminus they're like, oh, they eat people. It's like, yeah, it's like
so, okay.
Interesting.
Is that Tony Fleeks?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I need to grab. I might need to grab that trait, that first volume.
Yeah. Shout out to Tony Fleeks. I think he commented on one of our past YouTube videos when we talked about Feral. So
that's awesome.
All right. If you're watching, Tony, I'm going to get the book.
It is really good, and like you're 18 issues in, but like it's, if you binged it, you're gonna like get through it real quick.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out too.
Yeah, and if you haven't read Stray Dogs, read Stray Dogs. It's not the same storyline or anything, but it's a mini series and it's amazing. So
sweet.
Wait, do you guys know about Stray Dogs?
Image as well. That's Image, right? Yeah.
Do you guys know the premise of Stray Dogs? No?
Not now that
I don't think I know the premise very well.
Okay. So the premise of Stray Dogs is there's a serial killer that kills women. When he kills women in their house, he steals their dog. And so at the serial killer's house, he has a bunch of dogs. And the dogs can talk to each other, but they have like short-term memory because dogs don't have like long-term memory. So they remember kind of what their old owners used to be like. But then there's like a mystery because they're like, why are we here? I don't really remember what happened, that sort of thing.
Ooh, okay.
That's a cool premise.
It's the perspective of the dogs. Yeah.
Okay. Into that. Yeah. I'll get that one too.
That's interesting. I got to check that out.
Yeah, it's super cool.
You're getting me on the Tony tonight.
Yeah.
So.
Shout out to Tony Fleeks. It's the same creative team.
Nice.
On both. So, okay, we gotta rush through a bunch of stuff. I don't think you guys read the DC's I Saw Ma Hunkel Kissing Santa Claus, but it's just DC's holiday book that has a bunch of like little short stories in it. The first story revolves around Ma Hunkel being Red Tornado and showing her like great niece who's Cyclone around town because she's like bummed on Christmas time, essentially. So there's a bunch of different stories. There's a Shazam story. There's a Supergirl story. I forget what else, but it was cute. Nothing life-changing. But I will say that I like Brainiac 5. Is it Brainiac 5 from Legion of Superheroes? I think it's Brainiac 5.
Yes.
Yeah. I like romance between Brainiac 5 and Supergirl. That's just one of my ships that I like. So it is what it is. We gotta hit a couple of different ones. Did we all read Absolute Wonder Woman 14?
I think so.
Yes, I did.
Cool.
Yep.
Let's talk about that real quick, and then we'll get to the other stragglers, and then that'll be it.
Do you want to start, Dimitri? I know how much this is your favorite. This is your favorite. Absolute, right?
Yeah. This is my favorite, and this issue 14, I thought was better than issue 13. Because I didn't really like the kind of shadow villain, which is her opposite. I didn't really like that in the previous issue, but like I get to see anytime I get to see a new Greek god, I'm happy. Like Gaia. We also see Zatanna, like our first like real big appearance of Zatanna. So all in all, I like this one, and I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, I really liked it.
I saw somebody point out that the Gaia design almost looks a little bit like Swamp Thing, and they've already kind of introduced the green. So I wonder if there's any overlapping elements there in the way that they're going to address Swamp Thing in the green. I'm not 100% sure, but the design, it felt a little Swamp Thingy. So I don't know if that was intentional, but it piqued my interest.
It might be. But that being said, Gaia should be more than just the green, right? Gaia should be everything.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, 100%. I just wonder if maybe there's some kind of connection there of some kind, or just the way they might spin Swamp Thing. I'm not 100% sure, but interesting to think about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like this issue a lot. I similar to you, Dimitri, I liked this conclusion of this 2-issue kind of arc better than I liked the introduction of the like counter shadow character. I like how they kind of explain it and use the kind of wrongness of the absolute universe as a way to be like, well, no, I'm actually the part of the balance that's necessary here.
Yeah.
I don't need a shadow evil balance because the world is bad enough. I loved that resolution and the way in which she used her wording to talk to Guy. I thought that was super cool. Yeah, and just also we get anytime we can see a new kind of full absolute character like Zatanna, I thought that was really sick and kind of introducing her in Absolute Wonder Woman as also a magic wielder, I thought was like it's a really smart idea.
Yeah. Because this Absolute Wonder Woman is she's more of a magic user than Prime Earth Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
casting spells left and right. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack, did you read anything else? Did we hit all the ones on your list?
Those were my 4, yeah. The one I had not gotten to was Superman number 32, but we kind of talked about that. That was generally the Superboy storyline, right?
Yeah, Superboy Prime and Lois being Superwoman versus the Legion. And I forget what else got revealed. They brought in, correct me if I'm wrong, Joshua, they brought in the talk between Clark and Lex Luthor in DCKO, but they added to it a lot, right?
I didn't read Superman, but I heard, I saw someone saying that that's what is kind of the tie-in there was Lex and explain. You find out how the villains got there, I think. But
interesting.
They didn't really explain it in DCKO.
Yeah. So essentially, oh, and by the way, the end of DCKO, we didn't talk about this. Booster Gold has Darkseid in him.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's crazy.
I feel like we kind of talked about that had to be it on our DCKO episode that I was on with you. Issue 1, we were like, it's probably Booster Gold, given how long he was in that.
I think you said who's gonna win. Maybe Booster Gold's gonna join or something, and we kind of talked about like what maybe. Yeah. In this issue though, they bring up the fact that like Gorilla Grodd telepathically tells Lex Luthor everything as they have their meeting with the Justice League, because it's like Gorilla Grodd and like those time people,
the timekeepers.
It's Doomsday as the timekeeper. It's
Quantum
like
Quarter
and stuff.
I think is what they were called. So they reveal that Gorilla Grodd gave Lex
interesting team.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
That tracks.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, also Superboy is breaking the fourth wall a couple of times in this. He brings up that that this is a crossover event and blah blah blah. They have some fun.
Is that a thing he does?
Yeah, so Superboy Prime is
I didn't know that.
Yeah, little known fact, Superboy Prime is our world's Superman. Like, in a world full of no powered people, our world, he is the only one, because he came from a different universe in the multiverse, crashed on Earth, got raised as a human, and then he found out he had powers, but he reads DC Comics.
Okay, sick.
Superboy Prime reads. There's a lot of books where Superboy Prime will yell at the viewer through the page.
Okay.
And like say, stop looking at
me. He's a fun character, and then he's always in the center of like the most ridiculous conflicts where he's like 1v30ing tons of people, and it's always the most ridiculous situation. Like he's become part of the Sinestro Corps and other stuff like that. Like he's fought like the Batman Who Laughs, stuff like that. Like he's a fun character.
Yeah. He's not always breaking the fourth wall. Like I don't think he breaks the fourth wall in the Sinestro Corps stuff, but like
yeah, I don't think so.
He starts breaking the wall at the end of Infinite Crisis when he ends up going back to the real world. And it ends, I think, with him yelling at the viewer. Or it's Legion of Three Worlds or something like that. But like the point being is,
yeah,
you know, he does know he's in a comic.
Yeah. Got it.
Yeah. So that's that. So then real quick, let's get through Joshua's list and then we'll call the episode. Black Cat number 4. You got quick thoughts, Josh?
Yeah, I think this is a really fun series. It's, Black Cat is doing good guy stuff, but with an ulterior motive a little bit. Kind of spinning out of Amazing Spider-Man. So Spider-Man, Peter Parker is in space, and she's like, yeah, now crime is just out of control and it's scaring away all of the normies. So we have to keep crime a little bit in control so that we can still rob people, is kind of her pitch.
Rob the real rich people, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yep. She wants to keep them feeling safe and secure so that she can rob them. But in the process, she's getting mixed up with Tombstone, and yeah, it's been really fun. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's just a fun, light book.
A hot take about Black Cat is that, have you seen the variant covers that are drawn by like In-Hyuk Lee, who like doing the different like costumes? I feel like Black Cat, when she's not like over sexualized, is like hotter. I don't know. That's just my hot take. Like her in like street clothes.
That street clothes variant was sick.
The street clothes, yeah.
Yep.
Just a side note,
Yeah.
Marvel Knights Punisher issue number 2 that spins out of World to Come, alternate timeline or something.
That's one I forgot to pick up at my shop, so I did not read that yet.
It is what it is. It's the Punisher. He'll be around when you get to it.
Yep, exactly. The first issue was good. We'll see.
Okay. Did you read Green Arrow 30?
I did read Green Arrow 30.
I read it too, and just real quick, my thought was, I think they just wrapped this up real quick because they're ending with issue 31, and I feel like they were just like, oh, well, last couple pages solved the problem. Cool.
I know. It is a really big bummer to me that series is coming to a close and that creative team is not going to be working on it anymore, because I have loved this series ever since that team took over.
Waters?
I've been
Is it Dan Waters?
No, I think it's Chris Condon.
Oh, it is Chris Condon, yeah.
Yeah. It's been incredible. Such a great book. So yeah, I kind of agree. I was like, oh, I guess we're gonna end this in like 3 pages so that we can do one more book that I guess will end their run, which is kind of sad. And then it's canceled. There's no Green Arrow. There's no other Green Arrow announced yet, so I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
In February,
it's unfortunate.
Yeah, DC is doing what's called Next Level. It's a new initiative that they're doing starting in February that spins out of DCKO. I'm pretty sure that's gonna like upset a lot of things in a good way. Like starting
like the status quo or whatever. Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure I'm sure DC has plans for Green Arrow on another book, I'm assuming. And also, even though they wrap things up in issue 30, I kind of like the idea that Condon is wrapping things up too quickly in issue 30 so we can get a final issue, as opposed to let it finish in 31 and then just
Yeah, no, I agree. I am happy that we finished off that story arc so that they can still just have their one final issue.
Yeah. Batman Question Green Arrow Arcadia number 1. That's another Green Arrow book.
It is another Green Arrow book. Did you read this?
Yeah. I read this one.
I really liked it. I thought the art was gorgeous. And also, I am a sucker for like a gritty, like 80s style thriller detective noir story. And so this hits like all the notes for me. We get some cool Batman stuff, some cool stuff, and some cool Green Arrow stuff.
Yeah. I thought it was very reminiscent of like almost like Son of the Demon cover art, like Batman
Hmm.
from the 80s. And
Hmm.
I love globe-trotting Batman. It's just like one thing that I love is just like globe-trotting Batman. Like, yeah, let him
Yeah.
punch some like French clown in the face in France. Like, cool. Let him
Yeah.
have a fight on the Eiffel Tower, versus a gorilla. Um, which actually does that could happen. Monsieur Mala is a gorilla, so I guess that
There you
could
go.
happen.
Yeah.
Good.
But yeah, no, I like this one. It's very noir, very thriller, and like I think it's bringing up some like social points too,
Hmm.
which is
Yeah.
Jack. Did you read this one?
No, I didn't, but I've been hearing people talk about it, and I
Yeah.
really want to start it because it seems so interesting.
The premise is like all three characters are on their own like mysteries mission, and it leads them to essentially this new project that a bunch of billionaires are like funding, which is it's called Arcadia, and it's building a city on the water for when global warming does rise the sea level, that you can just have cities on the water. And it's
Yeah,
you know
that's interesting. That's awesome. I gotta
Yeah.
check that out. That's super interesting.
Yeah. I like where they're headed with, especially just throwing in that like classism in there and just seeing like, oh, it sounds like this city is just going to be for rich people.
No,
Like,
no, they mention, and almost worse, the cities aren't just for rich people. They mention making parts of the city worse for poorer
for
people
poor people.
as
Yeah.
they build the infrastructure of the city. That it can't all be wonderful for everybody.
Yeah. I really like this, and I like how, yeah, Jack, I think you should check it out,
You should
but
read it.
I'm
Yeah,
interested to see if they pit any of these heroes kind of at opposite sides to a degree, because it kind of feels like we might be headed towards like, oh, some of these people aren't going to agree on how to handle this issue, since they're all coming at it from different angles, which I think
Yeah.
will be really, really cool as they kind of uncover more. I thought it was really solid. I'm stoked.
One thing that I like about the question in this book is that although Justice League Unlimited's question is amazing,
Hmm.
his characterization as like a conspiracy guy is only good for like that story arc. But like an ongoing question character gets kind of annoying if he's always like, peanut butter is mind control. And it's like, well,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
and I don't know. It's just weird sometimes. But in this, he mentions he's like, he mentions that he doesn't deal with conspiracies because I could be misquoting. He doesn't deal with conspiracies because real life is worse. Like real life
Hmm.
is way weirder than conspiracies. So he's much more of a detective in this than like some guy
Yeah.
who's just off his rocker. Captain Crunch causes infertility. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. No,
okay.
I
yeah,
appreciated that too. It felt very much like old school, hard broiled, like investigative journalist who
Yeah.
gets caught up in things rather than, yeah, like you were saying, nutcase
Yeah.
conspiracy guy who
Also, I think
sometimes happens to be right.
yeah. I think he also brings up that like Hub City has no industry. He mentions
Hmm.
that, and I think it's kind of Detroit in a way.
Yeah.
Like who stays in Hub City anymore? Like there aren't
Yeah.
any jobs. So um I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
I have other thoughts about it, but like not enough time to cover it. But
Yeah.
we didn't did we get to talk about Skinbreaker? We don't have to talk about it too much,
I
but I
don't
love it.
think so.
Yeah. I think it's great. It's a really, I love that it's just kind of a straightforward, like pretty simple story so far. And just, yeah, it's kind of thrown into this world with this tribe. I think it's
Yeah.
sick.
Jack, are you familiar with the premise on this?
Not familiar now.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Joshua. The premise of Skinbreakers is there's a tribe of like orcs that They're trying to one orc is trying to progress past savage machismo toxic male culture, but not in a like, it's not satirical, it's not funny, but it's him being like, why can't we use our brains to solve problems? Why do we need to challenge people to the death in order to solve these issues? Like, why can't we be better? Why can't we bring the water to us instead of dying to go to water to bring it? Like,
Okay.
do we
Yeah,
have
that's
to
super
go
interesting.
cultural norms? Like, could we progress and advance as a tribe?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's a great
gotta check
pitch.
that
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super cool. Super cool. And yeah, just the battle between like, no, these are our old ways and this is how we do things versus, yeah, but we could do something better. And yeah, just trying to grow as a society. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And the art's just stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, it is really good. All right, real quick. TMNT Shredder #3. You got a quick thought on that?
Yeah. Again, I love what Jason Aaron did with the Ninja Turtles run. That's coming to a close, or it came to a close. We're getting a new creative team, and I think some of these TMNT other universe mini series or series are trying to like kind of reset where we're gonna be and what the story is. So we've got Shredder back. He's basically going on a mission to kind of help this kind of government organization find the new leader of the Foot Clan, who may or may not be building an interdimensional bomb because they're terrorists.
As one
So
does.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it definitely feels like leaning more back into some of the more kind of fun, for lack of a better word, TMNT stuff. So I think it's kind of helping reset or re-establish where the next creative team is going to go with the TMNT run, possibly. But
Okay.
I've been really enjoying it. And that and Casey Jones have been really good.
Okay. Oh, and that's Dan
It's
Waters. Funny enough.
brutal. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Okay. That's by IDW Publishing.
IDW. Yep. Sorry.
And then I think last but not least, I have Galactic from Distillery. And it seems like it's inspired by Star Wars, but it's more than that. It's a parody of Star Wars. But I think that the book is good and the art is great when it's not doing the parody of Star Wars. When it's its own thing, it's way more interesting. But it's almost like Saga and like it's parodying Saga and Star Wars at the same time. And like it's not as good when it overtly parodies Star Wars. We see like Leia's bikini. Like we see one of the characters in that bikini. Like it is a parody of Star Wars. Like he says punch it. Like instead of Chewie, it's Wolf. Like there's different things, right? And so it's like, it's cool, but it would be a lot cooler if we kind of like ease off of the Star Wars stuff. That being said, it seems like issue 2 is not going to be very Star Wars related by their setup into issue 2. So maybe they just do it for the first issue to get us on board so we can do it. But it is good.
Is it like a comedy?
There are comedic elements.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just not.
But there's also like intrigue of like scoundrels and smugglers and that sort of thing. And the main character is Han Solo. Essentially.
Heard. Yeah.
So.
Interesting.
I generally like Distillery. So.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. Shout out to Distillery for putting out quality stuff. Again, the cover really was the thing that drew me to it. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Nice.
That's pretty much it. I think that's everything on our list today. We started a little bit late. We're closing a little bit late. But we're going to finish it off right now. Thank you, both of you, Jack and Joshua, so much for coming on the show, talking about everything that we read this week for the week of, November 28th, 2025. Before we get going, Jack, where can we find you? What do you got coming up? Anything you want to plug?
Yeah, you guys can find me, The Film Field, on TikTok, YouTube. I'll be talking pretty extensively about DCKO, just the future of DC, what that's looking like, and yeah, everything going on about that.
Awesome. Awesome. Glad to have you, Jack.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime.
Joshua, same question. Where can we find you? What do you got coming up? Anything you want to plug?
Yeah, you can find me Joshua Stephen Ling, Instagram, TikTok. Coming up, just gonna keep reading, hopefully talk about some of these books from this week. There's a lot of great stuff, so
Awesome.
keep looking for that.
Cool. Funny, I looked at the schedule for December, and you guys are both on the same episode in December. Thursday, December 8th.
Oh, sweet.
So
Sick.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Same duo. That is it for Comic Talk. If you want to find me personally, you can find me at This Is Dimithri on Instagram. But, generally speaking, for all things The Keeg, Comic Talk is one of the many shows that we do on The Keeg. But it's our most consistent, and I love Comic Talk a lot. You can find out more information on our social media at The Keeg Show. TikTok and Instagram are our two biggest ones, Blue Sky and Threads and all that. We're on there too. Patreon.com/The Keeg Show. We will one day be building up. So if you want to get on the ground floor of that, go to patreon.com/The Keeg Show and, donate us whatever, and we'll be able to spend money on ads. We got Comic Talk for December, but then we also have the Best Comics of 2025 special episode as we close out this year. And that is December 28th at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, December 28th. Look for more stuff on social media for that. If you're watching us live, it was on youtube.com/The Keeg Show. If you're listening to the podcast, it was on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or iHeartRadio or Audible or Amazon Music or SoundCloud or wherever you can find podcasts. We are there. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up, so definitely stay tuned for that. Go to comicshoplocator.com, find a comic shop near you, support your local comic shops, and pick up any of these comics there that we talked about on this episode or past episodes. There's a lot out there, so definitely support them and support your local public libraries as well, because they not only need our support, but also they got comics there. So best of all worlds. Help your community and pick up comics at your local library. That is pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for coming on, especially the day after Thanksgiving. Really appreciate it. Shout out to Deanna, who was in our chat earlier, and anyone else who is liking or following or whatever. So yeah, follow, subscribe, write a review, do your thing. Let us know you're out there, however you're digesting us. That is it. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Thank you so much for listening. Once again, I am your host, Dimithri Perera, and this has been Comic Talk for the week of November 28th, 2025. See you guys next week. Bye.
Super fast, gotta beat the boss and get the loot, cause it's the king, and we got geek